the history and prehistory of Madurai. He began by explaining the science of temples. Each stone deity image is a transmitter of the invisible frequency of superconsciousness. Just as the satellite dishes transmit informations to the radio and television, the deities radiate the vibration that raises us to enlightenment. In ancient Vedic culture, both home and temples had the center for conscious imparting of the higher frequencies. At home, people sat in their puja rooms and received, just as today, sit in the front of the television sets and receive a far lower quality of communications. In the temple, the broadcast was continuous, sending out a powerful beam on the wide band. However, the receptor for the frequency of superconsciousness lie in the non-mechanical parts of the brain, whose development has been suppressed by contemporary conditioning. Once these parts are awakened and activated through the process of unclutching, we can integrate the temple information once again and the civilization of enlightenment. So now we'll watch a short video where Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has expounded more on the truths of science of temple.
We'll enter today's subject. It is such a vast ocean. Meenakshi's history and the history of Madurai Adinam, recorded history itself, is very little known information. And unrecorded Akashic readings are so much. I have to sync the whole thing in tune. It is still taking time for me to comprehend, especially to present it in your language, the language in which all of you can understand. I can see literally so much of cosmic information from the Akashic reading, Akashic recordings are getting downloaded and getting ground, processed to get expressed in the language in which you all can grasp, you all can understand. You all can receive, you all can enjoy. So it is taking little time. I'll answer some of your questions today related to this temple culture. As part of this Satsang series, Madurai Adinam series.
This is a question from Rajiv, India. Beloved Master, people not belonging to this culture knows little about this particular Meenakshi temple. Please tell us who is Devi Meenakshi and her husband. Why this grand temple? What are the visible and invisible functions of this temple? Please tell us, Swamiji.
Read the next question also.
As we see in our present time, towers of mobile, TV or dish TV antennas everywhere connecting invisibility to satellites, doing an incredible function for individuals and for society. My question is, there is and was everywhere temples and deities in this culture. Anybody coming from outside just wonder, is this just sentimental carved stones, worshipping culture or just artistic sculpture? What is the invisible function of temples, deities?
See, both questions, same answer. That is the reason I wanted to answer both the questions together. Modern day dish TVs, antennas, mobile towers, all of them work in the level of certain frequency where the words, pictures, visuals can be transmitted. See the verbalization and visualization, names and forms can be transmitted from one place to another place through these mobile towers, dish TV antennas. But the temple towers are created to transmit super consciousness from one place to another place. Please understand, in Meenakshi's time, there was television, conscious television. It used to be in stone slab, and if you just sit in front of that stone TV, meditate, connect with Meenakshi, she will appear live and answer whatever you want. So each of the stone slabs only slowly later on became deities. You can see in our temple, the TVs in which I am appearing and speaking, flowers are offered to it, Aarti is done to it, incense is given to it. Now, all our temples are planning to have a separate throne for this TV. In Los Angeles, already I am on the throne. The TV is in the throne. The TV in which people are seeing me have already become deity. Same way, please understand, the stones through which people are able to connect with the super consciousness have become deities. Same way, all our temples, deities, everything is a connecting mechanism with super consciousness. The mechanism which connects with the super consciousness please understand, the deities and temples are not just sentimental carved stones, or they are not just artistic sculptures, they are conscious transmitters. They raise you to the super consciousness. In each house in Vedic tradition, we have a puja room. All the puja rooms are your private conscious airport, are conscious transmission centers. The main temple is a place from where continuous super consciousness is radiating. So if you just sit and connect with a deep feeling connection, see, in those days human beings were so beautiful and simple. Just remembering the name of the deity is enough. They are already in connection with the deity. That feeling connection. When I read Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, it says, sit in Siddhasana and be in Samadhi. That's all. So the human beings were so simple in those days. Just if you sit in Siddhasana, you are already in Samadhi. If you sit, your mind sits. Now, if you sit, your mind sits. Mind is completely away from the body. In those days, human beings are so simple and intelligent. All the non-mechanical parts of their brain were awakened. It is Western culture which killed the non-mechanical parts of the brain, the functions of the non-mechanical parts of the brain. Please understand, in the Vedic civilization, always human beings were brought up in such a way that non-mechanical parts of the brain was fully alive and awakened. It is a cultural invasion, destroyed the greatest possibility of the human being when the non-mechanical parts of the brain is not functioning anymore. The temples, deities, all these are looking useless. Otherwise, they are a huge conscious infrastructure. Please understand. One example, suddenly, if we find some method to travel just 20 feet above the air or 30 feet above the air without petrol or diesel, all our automobiles, roads, everything will become useless. Then you will wonder, why so many automobile industries are established? Why so many cars are produced? Why this huge road waste? I think our ancestors are fools. You don't understand. At one period, it was used. It was being useful. Our temples, our deities, all these are useful if all your non-mechanical parts of the brain is awakened. Unclutching is the process to awaken your non-mechanical parts of the brain. When your non-mechanical parts of the brain is awakened, you will understand temples, deities, how useful they are, how directly useful they are, how they are part of our life, how they enrich our life, and how they make human beings intelligent, enlightened. These are the methods created to create enlightened civilization. These grand temples are not built as an just monument. They are built as a conscious movement. It is not like Egyptian pyramids, monuments, no. It is conscious movement to raise human beings to the highest consciousness, to make human beings experience the highest purpose. Understand, unclutch, use the temples to achieve the highest consciousness.
Paramahamsa Nithyananda, a rare living incarnation, is named among the world's 100 most spiritually influential
TV News. Morning satsang with Paramashiva Nithyananda and grand inauguration for May Inner Awakening Celebration 2013. Nithyanandam, and welcome to Nithyananda TV News for Wednesday, May 8th, 2013 during the Purna Ratau, the season of completion leading up to Guru Purnima, July 22nd. Now for today's top stories. Intention to be complete, true listening begins.
Next year, the year of 2014, and on this day, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, conducted the Varanasi Inner Awakening, Day 8, and the Meenakshi Brahmotsam, Day 8. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism elaborated on the concepts of living Advaita and specifically on the topic of sharing our desires with our teamly. He explained how in every yuga, the fears, pain and comfort, concerns change, and how, in fact, the 7 changes corresponding to the 7 chakra happens. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shared that the teamly process is a specific way of making Advaita user-friendly in this yuga by making the probability to become possibility instead of being dispersed in the impossibility. Then Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism further elucidated about the upcoming Kalvara Darshan. Moving to the next year, the year of 2015, and on this day, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, conducted the Day 2 of the Inner Awakening Convention and delivered the Shivoham experience in the city of the gods, the holy city of the Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh, India. Additionally, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism took the Inner Awakening delegates to visit the holy city of Varanasi, and specifically they visited the Sri Kasi Vishwanatha temple. The Kasi Vishwanatha temple is a famous Hindu temple dedicated to Lord Shiva. It is located in the Vishwanatha Gully of Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh, India. The temple stands on the western bank of the holy river Ganga and is one of the 12 Jyotirlingas, the holiest of the Shiva temple. The main deity is known by the name Sri Vishwanatha Visheshwara, literally meaning the Lord of the universe. So we'll catch the more glimpse from this day through the Nithyananda Times video magazine.
Swamiji was calling me here. It was just a calling.
It was a complete miracle.
Well, I've been waiting 5 years to get to Varanasi. 5 years.
I just came for witnessing, for experiencing that flow of love, that love current of Mahadeva.
Without his call, no one gets here.
Swamiji blessed us, and 2 days later we are here in Varanasi attending IE.
It wasn't even a choice. It was just like, okay, I'm going.
He had a reason for me being here, so I just had to come.
I came to Varanasi to find myself, coming to get more devotion.
I'm sure I'll be enlightened.
Get ready for a blast. Spiritual blast. You are going to have the best of the inner awakening and best of the Shivoham process in Shiva's home. Enjoy everything intensely. That's all. Is the one and only instruction I want to give you. Enjoy the Ganga. Enjoy the Vishwanatha. Enjoy this Varanasi. Enjoy everything. Ultimately, enjoy Guru's presence, the physical presence. Understand, This city is just DNA of Mahadeva. Physical expression of Hinduism. Enjoy everything. We have enough time to enjoy everything, imbibe everything, celebrate. You will experience the ultimate. And welcome to Shivoham in Shiva home.
What are the ways for experiencing Mahadeva's love current? I want to share an experience. When I went one day for healing, that time I asked Swamiji, I want to go to Cambodia casually. I didn't actually really want to go, but I had a little bit, I want to go once at least like that. Then after that, I gave a letter to him, and then he told Tadastu, and he laughed, and he gave some chickies, and I went. Then after that, 1 month from before Cambodia, that time my mom, she came and told me that we are going to Cambodia, create a space, then we'll go 100%. Then I created a space, and then I went to Cambodia. So from this, I want to say that I experienced the love current of Mahadeva through Swamiji.
So now we'll move to the next year, the year of 2016, and on this day, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, conducted the day 5 of the Living Suddhadvaitam process convention in the Ujjain Adinam as part of the most auspicious and the holiest event of Kumbh Mela. Apart from the Living Suddhadvaitam initiation session, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism dedicated some time to share his knowledge on how we are to dress as per Agama instructions. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself personally chose the clothing that all the delegates of the Suddhadvaitam program were to wear. To help them get the most out of the initiation process, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explained the connection between the food and love in the India, and how communities even today perceive the concept of sharing food as an integral way of life. So we'll watch a short video to get more understanding on the traditional attire as per the Agama.
The Indian traditional dress is designed for perfect energy flow in your system. That is why Swamiji is insisting that for all the processes and for the entire program, you have to wear the Indian traditional dress. Only whatever dress, the style and the type of dress that Agama allows, only those type of designs have been personally selected and chosen by Swamiji, and only those designs we have even uploaded on the website. So all the dress designs for the men and women uploaded on the website were personally chosen by Swamiji in accordance to the style mentioned in the Agamas. And Swamiji also sat with the original Agamic description of how a dress has to be worn and matched those descriptions with the dress styles that Swamiji has chosen for us. And only those photos we have uploaded on the website as the styles that are allowed for us to wear as Indian traditional dress for the Shuddhadvaitam program. For example, for men, the front side of the lungs should have only one layer of clothing. And for women, the back side of the lungs should have only one layer of clothing. So the dress styles have been chosen according to the Agamic descriptions, personally by Swamiji himself. And Swamiji spent almost 4 days matching the original photographs and the Agamic descriptions of the dress styles. From thousands of photos, we chose the 30-40, which Swamiji chose the 30-40, which match the Agamic descriptions, and we have uploaded them. So much of effort is gone behind choosing the dressing styles so that you get the maximum benefit from the program. See, at the end of the day, just for all of you to receive the NSA.
Moving to the next year, year of 2017, on this day, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam conducted the day 19 of the Inner Awakening Convention. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted the traditional Vedic ritual of Maheshwar Puja. Maheshwar Puja is offered in the remembrance of a person who is no more. It is offered so that the departed soul rests in the peace. The real peace that a soul can experience is the peace of enlightenment. A key component of the Maheshwar Puja is offering of the food to the master along with the monastic disciples. And this is when the Swamiji blesses the ancestors to attain enlightenment and offer them pinda, or the food for the journey to their enlightenment. Inner awakening participants also had the individual energy darshan. So we'll catch the more glimpse of this day through the short video magazine Nithyananda Times.
The time for the breakthrough, not just for human consciousness, but for the very consciousness itself has come. Understand? From amoeba, one cell, to fish, it was a physical growth, physical breakthrough. From fish to monkey was physical and mental breakthrough. Monkey to man, physical, mental and conscious breakthrough. Now from man to superhuman, physical, mental, conscious and superconscious breakthrough. What Vivekananda visualized, Yogananda yearned, Aurobindo aspired, Sadashiva did it. As of now, world's greatest spiritual happening is happening here, now in Bengaluru Adinam. I am not even fulfilling Dharmartha Kama Moksha, the goal of human life. I am fulfilling the goal of very life on this universe. Sadashivatva, starting on May 13th, is not just Adinavasi orientation. Understand that 21 days of program to give a breakthrough in your very spiritual consciousness. In your very consciousness. It is not just fulfilling the purpose of human life. It is fulfilling purpose of very life. Oh humanity, don't waste time, because time is life for you. Understand, this whole process needs only two things. Beings who are willing to have this breakthrough, who are interested in this breakthrough, and me sitting with them physically. That's all. Oh humanity, I commit with you. Just like email, postcard, watch, iPhone, laptop, how common it is. You are anasin, metasin, just like that. I'll make third eye and powers as a common. Everything can wait. Your business can wait. Your spouse can wait. Your career can wait. Your education can wait. Everything can wait. But don't make Sadashiva wait.
It's been a great blessing for us to be married directly by Swamiji, a living incarnation in 2015 in Varanasi.
in the Meenakshi Tirukalyanam. It's something you can never you find anywhere else on this planet, an avatar personally getting you married in an auspicious setting in the presence of Devi Meenakshi and Lord Sundareshwara himself. Swamiji, when he performs a Vedic marriage in a traditional Vedic setup, he's actually aligning the two energies of the two people very beautifully into the science of completion, and then completion becomes the very foundation of that relationship.
Swamiji is now going to tie the sacred thread.
So now we will move to the next year, the year of 2018. And on this day, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam visited the temple to pay his respect to Devi. Sri Mahamaya Bhagavati is one of the most popular deity in the Kerala and the Supreme Mother Goddess in Hinduism. The Devi is worshipped at the temple in three different forms, as Mahasaraswati in the morning, draped in the white, Mahalakshmi at noon, draped in the crimson, and as Mahakali in the evening, decked in the blue. The goddess is believed to be Bhadrakali in her fierce form or the Ugra form. Supreme Lord Paramashiva, the Lord Ganesha, and the Lord Dharmasthala Ayyappa are also worshipped at the temple. We'll catch the more glimpse of this day through this Paramashivam Oneness capsule. Moving to the next year, the year of 2020, and on this day, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, expounded on the cosmic principles of Hindu knowledge system, best solution to stop the Hindu Holocaust. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism revealed that absolute life positivity in every level is non-violence, ahimsa. He gave a clarion call for all the born and practicing Hindus and Hindu sympathizers, the 2 billion populations, for at least 10% to become Brahmana by Varna, taking up the projects of reviving the Hindu knowledge. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism also explained that the Hindu Kshatriya Varna, Hindu administrative system, is all about contributing and enriching society, making human life better, all about extreme life positivity. Same way, the Hindu Vaisya and the Sudra Varna contributing to over 108 humanitarian causes of Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations. Kailasa Nithyananda Hindu University marked that day as the season 4, day 2 of Paramashivoham. One of the major highlights of Kailasa's contribution through this convention was the power manifestation on that day, being the power of feeding Ganesha and the consciousness over matter. And coming to the year of 2021, this day, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism announced the 7th day of the Vijayotsam celebration of all the victories of Hinduism. Devi Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti was gracing us in all in Visalakshi Alankaram. The deity of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was gracing us all as Unnamat Bhairava, and Mahakala Bhairava graced all in the Sarvalankara. That day was also the second day of the Paramashivaratri Brahmotsavam. Nithyanandeswara Paramashiva and Nithyanandeswari Paramashakti were gracing all in the Sarvalankara. So with this, we come to the end of today's segment of Bhavasamadhi Darshan, and now we request all the viewers to get ready to receive the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. We are going to have the live darshan, so we'll enter into the meditation. We request all the participants to sit straight and close your eyes. Request all the participants to get ready to receive the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. We'll now be entering into the live satsang of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
Paramashiva's message directly from Mahakailasa. Listen. The existence of the superconsciousness consciously, powerfully reflecting into your conscious existence, and your conscious existence recognizing your possibilities and powers of your superconscious existence is superconscious mutation. I wanted to make it very clear. This word mutants is misunderstood all over the world, especially the Hollywood movies and TV serials. The way they project the idea mutants, that is not the way Hinduism reveals about the conscious mutation. Please understand. The Hollywood movies and TV serials, what they talk about mutants is people with extra power, but not enlightenment or the intelligence, compassion to handle the power, compassion to handle the responsibility. It is more like a unconscious mutants from the lower worlds. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Patala. The lower worlds. That concept only is presented in Hollywood movies and TV series like a Heroes, the New Heroes TV series. All these presents almost kind of a frightening depiction about the mutants. Completely forget about that. Understand what Hindu Shastras, Hindu scriptures, Vedas and Agamas, Puranas talk about superconscious mutation. From the vertical time zone, the higher conscious beings, people who achieved superconsciousness, those beings, their superconsciousness, when that reflects in your individual conscious existence, you start manifesting great enlightenment, intelligence, compassion, highest order of human values and divine qualities. With those jnana, buddhi, higher values, you start manifesting powers, extraordinary shaktis. Please understand. In India, even 200 years before, this was a lifestyle. Every village will have few Shatavadanis. Shatavadani means a person who can perform 100 acts at a time. Please understand. Great Vedic scholars in Hindu tradition developed these powers, possibilities through the superconscious mutation. Through this superconscious mutation, they could perform 100 acts at a time, because all their non-mechanical parts of the brain was awakened through this superconscious mutation process. I want all of you to know elaborately our Hindu scriptures, history, books have documented. Puranas are not mythology or myth, it's a history. They have documented these superconscious mutants, people who had the superconscious mutation experience. The Panchapandavas' birth itself is a superconscious mutation. Kundi received the power to make the superconscious beings give their DNA and give birth to kids through their DNA. She brought Surya's DNA with the blessing of Surya. That superconscious mutant is Karna. Till the end, his great value, the greatest value of Surya is just giving radiance is his very nature. Anything Karna had, he just gave. The quality of giving, radiating, could never be removed from Karna because he is from the DNA of Surya, the greatest giver, Bhaskara, radiating. He gave his very life. He is the extraordinary giver. Then Kundi brought the DNA of Yamadharma Raja, Yama, who is the Lord of natural law, Dharma, and gave birth to a child in the same signs of superconscious mutation. Till the end, Dharma. Yudhishthira never violates Dharma. The way he upheld Dharma is unimaginable. It's because superconscious mutation. Then comes Bhima. It's a superconscious being, Vayu. His DNA was brought, and Vayu's very DNA, superconscious mutation has been done, and Bhima was born. The power Bhima radiated, the power of Vayu Bhagavan, the power Bhima radiated is unimaginable. Arjuna is a superconscious mutant of Indra. Then Nahula and Sahadeva, they are the superconscious mutants of Ashwini Kumaras. These great beings are all superconscious mutants. Understand? Our Idihasas, Puranas elaborately document these superconscious mutation and the signs of superconscious mutation. There's an elaborate description of the 7 enlightenment cities, Kashi, Kanchi, Madhura, all these 7, Mayapuri, all these 7 enlightenment cities each having the population of 10,000 Sahasravadanis 1,00,000 Shadavadanis. Sahasravadani means who can perform 1,000 action at a time. Sadavadani means who can perform 100 action at a time. Please understand, what I am talking is not story. Even as recently as now, there are documentation in Mohal's court where they start awarding Shatavadanis. They start giving awards to Shatavadanis. There are documentation. In front of the court, people performed this 100 acts at a time. Forget all of that. Even now, in Andhra, the Telugu Brahmins community, they are keeping this tradition of avatanis alive. The living stream is not dead. It is there still. It's there. Shodasavadanis, Ashtavadanis, still the tradition is there. In Andhra, the Telugu Brahmins tradition, and even the Telugu Brahmins who came and settled in the banks of Kaveri in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. All the three, Godavari, Karnataka, Kaveri in Karnataka, Kaveri in the Tamil Nadu. In all three places, the Telugu Brahmins who came and settled are still keeping these Avadani traditions alive. Actually, there's an elaborate description how these rivers were energized with the superconscious energy for these Avadani traditions to be kept alive. The Ganga was used for Sahasravatana, Sahasravatanis, people who can perform 1,000 acts. They settled in Kashmir and Kashi. Then the next level, people who can perform little less than 1,000, but around 900. They settled in Yamuna. And you need to know, after the Ganga and Yamuna, people who can perform above 500, but less than 900. That group settled near Godavari. That is why when we describe the rivers and worship, Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati. Saraswati does not come third. Godavari comes third. Then comes Saraswati. Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri. It was different settlement of different Avadanis. There's an elaborate description of how these Avadanis are trained and how this science was kept alive. Avadanis training is one of the aspect of superconscious mutation. More than Avadanis, another important aspect of superconscious mutation is ability to use the astras. Ability to use the different organs, senses. Listen. Ability to use different organs and senses. That superconscious mutation is Avadanis. You will have an extraordinary capacity to smell, think, write poetry, recollect the numbers, names uttered means the Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, Manas, Chitta, Buddhi, memory, everything will be fully active, alive, intensely, simultaneously, spontaneously, synergetically. That is what is the definition of being an avatani. All your jnanendriyas and karmendriyas. Jnanendriya means the organs in your system which receives information and processes. Karmendriya means organs in your system which performs actions. Jnanendriyas and karmendriyas and the internal organs who are responsible for jnanendriyas and karmendriyas to be fully active and alive. Sorry for using too many Sanskrit terms. I'll try to translate every Sanskrit term I'm using and give English meaning. The knowledge receptors and action performers, these two organs, for example, tongue, when it tastes, it is called jnanendriya. When it speaks, it is called karmendriya. Same tongue, when it performs the action of receiving the taste and processing that information, it's called jnanendriya. The same tongue, when it performs the action of talking, it's called karmendriya. Like that, the jnanendriyas and karmendriyas and the internal organs which are responsible for these jnanendriyas and karmendriyas to be active. For example, liver. Only if your liver is absolutely detoxed and fully active, you will have a deep ability to coordinate all the actions. Please understand, coordination of all the actions needs not just the support of the brain, it needs the support of your liver. Because your liver is responsible for all your internal organs functioning smoothly. So, the avadani has to keep his whole body detoxed. If you are an avadani, you will automatically keep your body detoxed. Only if you are detoxed, you will be able to be an avadani. Keeping all your karmendriyas, jnanendriyas and internal organs active, alive, simultaneously, spontaneously, synergetically, in a synced way, is called avadana. I myself have seen an avadani who can smell, listen to the music, taste some of the food items, and hear the numbers, flower names, various other names being uttered, and see the scenes in front of him, which is constantly changed, various paintings, mix all this and sing poetry without missing the order. He can see everything, listen everything, and during this whole process, somebody will be touching his back with peacock feather at various points. He will narrate this whole thing in a poetic way without missing the order. This multiple performance avadanis is one aspect of superconscious mutation. Then the next, using shastras. That is what now I am making Suvignana master. See, in Shankara's history, if you see Adi Shankara's history, two of his disciples never studied anything. Totakacharya, Bhatmapada. They just served him. Just by superconscious mutation, he made both of them Shastravadanis. Shastravadanis, like Sahasra Avadanis on Shastra. Sahasra Avadanis means they can perform 1,000 actions at a time. Shastra centered. He made both of them Sarvanyas. What Mandana Mishra did through the self-effort, his whole life, Adi Shankara gave it through superconscious mutation to Todaka and Bhatmapada Acharyas, just like that. Sarvanyatva can be transmitted through the initiation. And Sahasravadana of Shastras can be transmitted just like that. Adi Shankara has demonstrated it. Then, Sahasravadanis of Shastras. How do you think Drona could transmit this whole science to all the students in short period? Especially the capacities of Arjuna, Bhima. If you see all their capacities, unimaginable capacities cannot come by training. It is only the science of superconscious mutation. Just within 7 years, Karna receives everything including Brahmastram from Parasurama. How? It's impossible by training, but only through the superconscious mutation. Understand, superconscious mutation is a science. There are 25 branches of Sahasravatana, performing 1,000 actions at a time centered on organs. This tradition is kept alive in the Telugu Brahmins community who settled in the banks of Godavari and Kaveri. Understand what I am saying? Even now, there is a living stream, at least few people. We have Shodasavadanis, means who can perform 16 actions at a time. I want to tell you, put this on record. How the invaders of India destroyed this Avadani tradition. They understood these Avadanis are the powerful people keeping this Hindu tradition alive. So these invaders started rewarding the Avadanis. Everyone thought, why will award and reward Avadanis? Hindus. Because all these Hindu Avadanis have started coming out openly, publicly to receive the award and reward. They collected everyone and finished them off once for all. That is the way the living stream of the Avadanis were destroyed by the invaders. Understand? But one good news I have for you, all of you, is fortunately, this Avadani, the superconscious mutation, is done in the DNA level. If the Telugu Brahmin DNA is available, Telugu Brahmin kids are available, that is enough. I can reinitiate them, revive the whole Avadani tradition, which is what I am doing through our Gurukul. This is the good news we have. The Gotra of Avadanis, the Telugu Brahmins who carry this Avadanis DNA. If the child is initiated, into power manifestation, immediately he reclaims, his DNA is awakened, and the whole Avadana powers starts manifesting. The superconscious mutation starts happening. Shrikant Iyer is sending a message. His family also, there are Avadanis. Shrikant Iyer, you are a Tamil Brahmin. That is not called Avadanis. That is a different science. It is yogic powers. Please understand. The Telugu Brahmins kept the Avadana tradition alive. Tamil Brahmins kept the Mantra Shastra alive. The Avadanis which you are talking, Shrikant Iyer, your family, you are actually Tamil Brahmin, means the Tanjavur Brahmins, Tambras family. Hope I am right. And people who carry that Iyer title, that DNA, your Avadanatva is manifested through Mantra Shastra. Fundamentally, the Tamil Brahmins Avadana tradition, that superconscious mutation is Shastra centered. The Telugu Brahmins Avadana tradition is organ centered. Karmendriya, Jnanendriya centered power is the Telugu Brahmins Avadana tradition. The Tamil Brahmins, see, I don't want to create any conflict or community fight here. I am just putting all these things in record. Whatever I saw in the Akashic records and Shastras and the traditions and books, I am putting it on record. The Tamil Brahmins have the Sahasravatana capacity, Shastra centered. Once the Tamil Brahmin boy or a girl goes through a superconscious mutation, he can perform Avadana on any Shastras. On any Shastras. The Shastra-centric Avadana performance, Sahasravadana performance, science was kept alive, focused by Tamil Brahmins. Please understand, it's not that Tamil Brahmins never studied the Avadana tradition of Telugu Brahmins. But each of them took up one branch and kept it alive. And Shastra-centered Avadana tradition, Shastra means weapon. Shastra, Astra-centered Avadana tradition was kept alive by Parasurama's Gotra in UP. The whole UP area, the modern day Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, in that area, the Parasurama's Gotra is still alive. They have that Sahasravadana tradition centered on Shastras and Astras. Still, I have seen one Brahmin sadhu who can pick up a grass and chant a mantra and throw that grass. It will catch fire by itself and go and fall some 20-30 kilometers away and blast. I have seen a sadhu who can perform this avadana. Please understand, the organ-centric superconscious mutation avadani tradition was kept alive in Telugu Brahmin stream. Shastra-centric, mantra-centric, Sahasravadana tradition was kept alive by Tamil Brahmins, and Astra-Shastra, weapon-centric Avadana was kept alive by the Parashurama's Gotra in UP and Uttarakhand, the modern day Uttar Pradesh and UP, the UP, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand. And Ramesh Ramani is sending a message that they are Telugu Brahmins, and one of his great-grandmother has written the Ramayana on wall. Oh God. Actually, these are living, what to say, that living documentations. I am getting so many messages. And Nitya Ramani is saying that Isha and Keshava are half Telugu Brahmins. Can they be initiated, Swamiji? Please understand, for the superconscious mutation, they have to be in a Gurukul. And Nitya Ramani, if you want 2 kids for the family, keep Isha and Keshav. Now plan to give birth to more kids. And you are young, you are not old. You are young, you can. Give birth at least 2 to 3 kids more. Send them to Gurukul because it needs a full attention for their DNA to fully manifest. Mainly the ecosystem. Ecosystem where they continue every day, they have to manifest powers. Their food. You need to understand, Nitya Ramani, because you asked, I am telling you, the lifestyle and the kind of words people utter around, all that plays a major role when a child flowers into Avadani. The fear and greed, everything should be centered on power manifestation, not on money manifestation. See, it is not that our Gurukul kids don't have fear or don't have greed, but it is all centered on power manifestation. They get greedy to manifest more powers. They get fear if they don't manifest powers. But it is not centered on money. Oh, will I get a job? Will I get this certificate? Will I get that? So understand, the whole life has to be focused on power manifestation and becoming avadanis. The real reason why I am so focused on Gurukul is my work is not just writing some 1,000 books, giving 1,000 satsangs. My work is super conscious mutation. Making thousands and thousands of avadanis, power manifestors, demonstrably. Please understand one more thing. I want to put this whole thing on record. Good news is, this whole science is recorded inside the DNA. So as long as the last Brahmin is alive, this science cannot be destroyed, cannot be eliminated. That's the good news. The great news is, Paramashiva has empowered me. He has given me the power to revive, awaken, and do the superconscious mutation. And revive that power of Sahasravadani. So Nithyaramani, first thing, you are young, you are not old. Both of you are young. You can plan for at least 2 or 3 more kids and send them to Gurukul after the age of 7. This will be equivalent to giving $1 billion to Hindu society. Understand? When you give one child to Gurukul and when he starts manifesting powers, a tradition is revived. Not just one person, a tradition is revived. I always tell people, when one Hindu woman is taken away, it is not that we lose one woman, yet whole lineage is lost. Same way, if the one child, Brahmin child, or one Brahmin girl starts manifesting this avatana powers, it is not that one girl or one boy is manifesting. The whole gotra, the whole order, the tradition, the heritage, that whole lineage is revived. The kids who are staying in their home with parents, I can initiate them, give them few powers. But becoming like a Sahasravatani, you need the ecosystem where the kids manifest these powers intensely. I wanted to tell all of you who put the message now, Ramesh Ramani, Nithya Ramani, Shrikant Iyer, all of you, take this very seriously. One child from the Brahmin tradition, Brahmin DNA, please understand, I am not a casteist person. All of you should know, I myself is not a Brahmin DNA. I am from Adishaiva community. So you should know that I am not a casteist person, and I talk so much about social justice, and I work for the social justice. Here I am talking about the biology of the superconscious mutation. I am not talking about the social community structure. I am talking about the biology of the superconscious mutation. To understand, if one Brahmin child becomes part of the Gurukul and he starts manifesting powers and sarvanyatva, and he starts manifesting this avadanitva, not just the one child, the whole lineage is revived. Hindus need to realize, last 300 years, heavy persecution, huge effort was put to destroy this Avadani science, the superconscious mutation science, because this is the core of Hinduism. Core of Hinduism is not just in Shastras, not just in temples. All that is great. Keeping it alive, all that is container. Content is this superconscious mutation process. Understand, I am not disrespecting Shastras or the temples. No way. But all I am telling you is, Shastras and temples are all containers. See, when invaders invaded India, they burnt libraries, whole thing. Some of our libraries was burning for 2 years. Around 20 million books, manuscripts have been burnt. But the whole thing was rewritten within next 10 years by just 10 Brahmins sitting in a remote forest, because in their DNA the whole thing is programmed and in their memory the whole thing is there. They just sit and go on writing. Patanjali himself says, I took my 1,000-headed Patanjali Adisesha farm and wrote this whole Mahabhashya. It means he became the Sahasravatani. The 1,000 independent, intelligent brain tracts, he activated it. And all the whole 1,000 track revealed all the 1,000 branches of the knowledge. Patanjali is the Tamil Brahmin who is a Sahasravatani, mantra, Shastra-centric Sahasravatani. Is the Tanjore Brahmin. Shastra-centric Sahasravatani. He reveals the whole Mahabhashya. So if you just have one Patanjali, even if 1,000 libraries are burnt, no problem. They will repeat it and rewrite it, pen the whole thing down in next 10 years. That is the way, even though millions of temples are destroyed and the libraries got burned, we immediately came back. We immediately revived the whole thing in next generation, within next generation. Now is the time to revive not just the Avadani science of organ-centric, mantra-centric, Shastra and Shastra-centric, all the 25 branches of Avadani tradition. Sahasravatana in all 25 branches, the mantra, power manifestation. Power manifestation, Shakti Avishkarana is one of the science branches. We can create kids who can perform 1,000 power manifestation at a time. Sahasravatana at a time. I can talk about all these things. With Paramashiva's grace, I have a right to talk about all these things because I already demonstrated many things which I am talking. understand, the organ-centric Sahasravatana. That is what is this remote vision, ability to read blindfolded, and Shastra-centric Sahasravatana. That is what is that any book, without opening the eyes, the kids can just tell what is there in which page. Already Nithyananda demonstrated this power multiple times. Sarvanyatva. Not just Nithyananda, many kids along with Nithyananda demonstrated this power multiple times. And Astra-centric, Astra-Shastra-centric Sahasravatana. This comes under this materialization. Many other power manifestations come under this Astra and Shastra-centric Sahasravatana. You can receive anything you want and send anything you want. Many of these powers, these Avadana traditions, these sciences I have demonstrated. Now, through a large-scale Gurukul, I'll be taking this whole science to the whole world. See, the good news I have for all of you is, with the grace of Paramashiva, we demonstrated it is possible. We already revived the foolproof. The methodology is success, end to end, the quality control pass. That is done. Now we will have to make it available to the whole world by making large numbers, like 10,000 balasans, 10,000 female sannyasinis, 10,000 rudraganyas, manifesting these different Avadana traditions. That is what we have to do, and that is what I am doing. That is what I am focused, and I know what all the dangers and attacks possible, what all the persecution, dangers and attacks possible. I am first doing all the protection needed to protect once I start doing this work. To understand, with the grace of Paramashiva, we will do it, and he is doing it. He is really doing it. He is doing great work in large scale. Great work in large scale. I am just creating the infrastructure needed to host these thousands of kids, thousands of Gurukul Balasans, thousands of sannyasis, Rudraganyas, Apat sannyasis, who will work on the superconscious mutation, start manifesting these powers. I'm just working. So understand, by the time I evolve these infrastructures, all of you who put the message, Shrikant, Nithyaramani, Ramesh Ramani, all of you, you guys plan for getting more and more Brahmin kids. Your very DNA which you want to revive. Start working. If you feel, oh, it is little late for me, Swamiji, especially Ramesh Ramani may say, I think Swamiji, it is little late for me. But no problem. You have daughters, you have sons and daughters. You tell your daughters to give birth. Let the next generation. See, if possible, you give birth. If not, your sons and your daughters. Ask them. If you want to 2 child for your family, have 2 for you, and give few more kids birth to at least 2-3 more, and let that child go and be part of the Gurukul and revive the Sanatana Hindu Dharma. I tell you, sending a child to the Gurukul will be equivalent to donating $1 billion to Hindu society. Because even if you give $1 billion, what will I do? I have to find a living DNA, kids, who will go through the superconscious mutation process and manifest this to the world. I can do all the Sahasravatana, but one person doing, maybe it will bring glory to me, but I am interested in bringing the glory to the whole Hindu tradition, not just me. I am interested in reviving this whole tradition where 10,000 kids perform the superconscious mutation process of Sahasravatana. I want all the Brahmins to know, especially if you are from a family where alcohol and non-veg is not a lifestyle, where still you keep the Brahminical traditions alive, you are carrying something extraordinary in your DNA which can revive Hinduism. So I request the Brahmins, especially still who are living the Brahminical lifestyle of no non-veg, no alcohol, that lifestyle. You all need to know you are carrying something extraordinary in your DNA, and your kids not only can be the greatest gift for reviving Hinduism, they can be greatest gift for the whole humanity. Sonali Gupta is asking, what was the Kashmir Avatani tradition? Kashmir Avatani tradition was power manifestation science. On power manifestation, Shakti Avishkarana. If you see the whole Kashmiri Shaivite tradition, it was all about the power manifestation, Shakti Avishkarana. They were able to perform, manifest 1,000 powers at a time. Sahasravatana on Shakti Avishkarana tradition. See, a university, Hindu university, this is the way it existed. Fortunately, I could get the blueprint of at least 12 universities that existed. Tarukavanam. Tarukavanam is one of the greatest Hindu university where the rewriting of all the Puranas happened. The Tarukavana Rishis. And then the Kadambavanam. Kadambavanam is around the Madurai. There was a university. Madurai was called Kadambavanam, and around the Madurai, one university. And Vedaranyam, forest of Vedas in Tamil Nadu, Vedaranyam, and Kanchi. Like that, different universities, blueprints I got. Fortunately, Paramashiva gave access to me. In that, I saw all these universities had 25 branches of Sahasravatanis. People who can perform 1,000 actions spontaneously, simultaneously, synergetically. Because of the superconscious mutation, either centered on organs, or centered on Shastras, scriptures, or centered on Shakti Avishkarana, power manifestation, are centered on Astra Shastra Vidyas. Like these 25 branches, the metallurgy and arts, the whole Vishwakarma Sampradaya. Understand, we had Vishwakarmas who can perform 1,000 acts at a time on the science of sacred arts. Vishwakarmas are called Vishwakarma Brahmins. You should know that. They are Brahmin DNA. That was one of the branch in the 25 branches of the university. With Paramashiva's grace, we will revive all the 25 branches. Sahasravadanis in each branch. At least few thousand kids, so that it is kept alive forever in the future. I have already demonstrated the grace of Paramashiva, the science Paramashiva gave to me is working. I have already demonstrated. Now I just needed to scale it up. And I also realized what all the external attacks and internal attacks possible. When I scale it up, based on that, I am creating an infrastructure where once we start doing it, we will not need to waste our time in defending ourselves from the external attacks and internal attacks. We have a complete foolproof system where there is no attacks. We are absolutely safe. With the grace of Paramashiva, he has already given us that kind of a legal, political structure. Now we are just making infrastructure. And this is what is the real revival of enlightened civilization. Conscious civilization. And I know now what I said, what I focused, and what I delivered is too much even to grasp. These Avadani traditions which I described, 4 different Avadani traditions. Organ-centered, mantra-centered, Shastra-Astra-centered, sacred arts centered. Just understanding these 4 itself, you need to watch this satsang at least for 10 days. And you should first of all understand Avadani. You should see few Avadanis. Only then you will understand what is this Avadani tradition. Only if you see my Gurukul Balasans manifesting some 10-12 powers, you will understand this power manifestation is possible. Till then you can never understand. You may think, no, it is not possible, it is all just humbug. You can go on. But only if you see, check for yourself, foolproof, you will understand, wow, it is all true. Same way, only if you see few avadanis, you will understand. The avadani tradition is possible. Is possible. And understand all these various avadani traditions. Totally 25 different avadani traditions existed in Hinduism, documented as the documents I could see. Whatever documents I could see, I saw these 25 traditions. So, I am going to revive this 25, and Paramashiva has blessed me with the knowledge, ability, energy, Kundalini Shakti to perform the superconscious mutation for all these 25 traditions. In these 25 traditions, each one represents one face of Paramashiva. One face of Paramashiva represents one avadani tradition. Avadani is a person who can perform multiple acts simultaneously, spontaneously, synergetically. Because of the superconscious mutation happened in him. It can be in the field of organs. It can be in the field of Shastra scriptures. It can be in the field of power manifestation, Shakti Avishkarana. It can be in the field of Sthapatya Veda, sacred arts. Sthapatya Veda. It can be in the field of food and medicine, Ayurveda, Ayush Veda. Food and medicine both are considered as the same branch in Hindu tradition. Food and medicine was not separate. It was one and the same in Hindu tradition. And all these 25 branches, with the grace of Paramashiva, we will be reviving through the superconscious mutation process. Paramashiva himself is here to do this work, to do this job. All the major Hindu universities we had, Naimisharanya, Tarukavana, Katambavana, Vedaranya, all these were the great universities which had all these 25 traditions, 25 Sarvanya Pitas. Understand? Temples, monasteries, gurukuls, libraries, all of them are containers. Content is this superconscious mutation process. Especially if you are from a Brahmin community who's still living the Brahminical traditional lifestyle of no non-veg and no alcohol. Actually, if you don't do Gayatri, if you don't do Sandhya Vandanam, if you don't do Agnihotra Mandala also is okay. I am not saying don't do. Even if you have not performed all of that is also okay, because that can be just revived. But the non-veg and alcohol and drugs directly affects the very DNA structure. the capacity of the DNA is lost if you allow non-veg and alcohol and drugs. If you have kept non-veg, alcohol, drugs away and lived the Brahminical lifestyle, if you just keep these three away, that Brahminical lifestyle will be more than enough. You are still carrying a powerful DNA which can be a great blessing not only for Hindus, for the whole world. Because if you give one child, for example, Paramesha, Sri Advaita and Mahadvaita gave Paramesha and Tattva to Gurukul. Especially Paramesha, the way he started manifesting powers when he was a kid. It is not that now he is only one sannyasi or one kid, one balasant manifesting powers. He is going to revive, inspire a lineage. I am giving an example. If he becomes a Pitadipati, once fully able to perform Sahasravatana, 1000 actions, he can easily perform 50 at least right now. 50 power manifestation he can perform right now, simultaneously, spontaneously, synergetically. I just need to support him with the ecosystem, and it will be just hardly 2-3 years work for him to become 1000 Sahasravatani in power manifestation, in Shakti Avishkarana. Because he's a Tamil Brahmin, the Tanjavur Brahmin DNA, he will be naturally centered on mantra, the Shastra, scripture-centric Sahasravatani, that he will naturally manifest with the power manifestation. Because power manifestation directly I am giving. So you will be able to do both, like a power manifestation, Sahasravatana, and mantra, Shastra manifestation, Sahasravatana. Both you will be able to easily perform. So when he does that, if he becomes a Pitadipati, a sannyasi, he will be inspiring millions of the next generation to become sannyasis and take this science forward. If he decides to become Grihastha, when he grows up and if he decides he wants to get married, at least his whole family and the lineage, that Karuvali Parambarai, will start carrying the same awakened superconscious mutation DNA. Anyway, he will be blessing for the world. If he takes up Grihastha, he will be making few kids manifesting. If he becomes sannyasi, he will be making few thousand kids manifesting this Sahasravatana. That's all. Understand? What I am talking is a clear Paramashiva's blueprint. He will do it. He is doing it. He is doing it. I tell you, the real work is all about super conscious mutation. Actually, when Paramesha had a fracture in the hand, it is because of my fear for Mahadvaita and Rishiyadvaita, I sent him to hospital. If there was no interference of Mahadvaita and Rishiyadvaita, I would not have sent him to hospital. Because I know how to heal it simply, just by the superconscious mutation. But Mahadvaita is terrorized. What can I do? I have to be legally right as per the Indian law. So I said, all right, take him to hospital and do what need to be done. I only consciously supported him. If I did not have Mahadvaita, Rishiyadvaita's interference, all it would have taken for me is 10 minutes to remove the pain, next 10 minutes to make the bones set. And after half an hour, I'll tell them, hey, now take the X-ray and show that it's all clear. The X-ray will prove he's all right, it's all clear. That's it. No question of any other things needed. Because this Avadana tradition, when the superconscious mutation starts happening inside a child, he gets the power to manifest the body as he wants. Paramesha did not have pain when he had a fracture, his connection with me. But he has to be sent to hospital for medical attention is because of Mahadvaita and Rishiyadvaita's fears. Middle class Hindus, what to do? For last 5-6 generations, even they do not know that this kind of avadana is possible, and even they have not seen their parents or great-grandparents manifesting these powers. At least 3-4 generations it is gone. So they are all jittery, shaky, middle-class Hindus. Always they want to have a plan B, that fallback. And it is not their mistake. That is the way now, because for so many generations you did not see all this is possible. Forget about Mahadvaita, Rishiyadvaita, Paramesha getting medically treated. When I had the fracture, not only I did not have pain, but finally, no hospital was ready to do the surgery without anesthesia. I am telling, hey, I am an adult. I will write and give you that I don't want anesthesia. You perform the surgery directly. Actually, I did not even want to go to the allopathy hospital. I want to go to the Puttur. In Tamil Nadu, there is a place called, sorry, not Tamil Nadu, Andhra. There is a place called Puttur, Nagari Puttur, where the Sahasravadanis of medical field, in that one branch is still alive. Any kind of fracture, they will cure it without any surgery in 10 days. From all over the world, people come there. I want to go there actually. But these guys were constantly, these doctors, no, we cannot discharge you from the hospital and it has to be done within next few hours. All these big mess, and I thought, oh God, even I have to be legally obedient. Obey legally. Even I cannot go through the surgery without anesthesia. That was. But what to do? When you are in a country, you have to go through their legal system. Actually, the moment I had the fracture, I told my disciples, hey, drive to Nagari Puttur directly. Don't go to Bangalore. But somehow these fellows said, no, Swamiji, let's first take the X-ray and know where the fracture is exactly and take it to the Nagari Puttur so that they will repair it. We will go to hospital only for diagnosis, but treatment we will go to Nagari Puttur. But once you enter the hospital, they say, no, we can't discharge you. You are a VIP. And the hospital will get the bad name if we send you out. Then I said, all right, perform at least surgery without anesthesia. But the law is law. They said, no, it's a law of the land. They have to first of all report to police, and they have to report to government because a VIP having a hand fracture, and they are answerable to any of the repercussions or outcomes. Anyhow, But I tell you, only when I demonstrate the powers of the superconscious mutation, world will realize the greatest gift Hindus are having, which need to be shared with the whole world. This will be the greatest gift Hindus will be giving to the whole world. I'll continue with my initiations into superconscious mutation in the further sessions. Today I wanted to reveal the blueprint, Paramashiva's blueprint. In the further satsangs, I'll give you detailed initiations. So, with this, I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Shuddhatvaita Saivam, Paramadvaitam, the state, space, powers, being, superconsciousness, and Kailasa of Paramashiva, Paramashivoham, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, the eternal bliss, Maha Kailasa of Paramashiva, Paramashivoham, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, eternal bliss, Nithyananda. Thank you. Be blissful.
Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadusham Tattvamasyaadilakshya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures: no photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions: please be aware of the important cautions. Science of our manifestation is authentic, time-tested, scientific and foolproof. The pramanas, the evidences, The Shastra Pramana, scriptural evidences. The authentic scriptures, Shrutis, the Vedagama, stand as a foundation for Hinduism. Atma Pramana, authentic time-tested foolproof compilation of the experience of the rishis, sages and enlightened masters, which is in terms with the Shastra Pramana. Atma Pramana, with Apta Pramana, a guru is able to experience and live the truth as claimed by the Shastra Pramana. Shakshi Pramana, manifestation and experience of Guru's initiation in the disciple of a particular lineage, which is demonstrable to the world. And Pratyaksha Pramana, having the truth validated by the scientific study. Bhagavan has given the evidences, the pramanas, to have the cognitive shift from what we understand as mind to the superconscious mutation of superconscious experience in each one of us as reality. Bhagavan has given the power of materialization, the scriptural reference from Shiva Samhita. Shiva Samhita 3.4, 3.5. This is from, not Shiva Samhita, Spandakarika, section 3, Vibhuti Spanda, Sutra 3.4, 3.5. Raja Samaji, Bhagavan described. Now let's go to the Shastra. The eternal truth
is taken from the Spandakarika, section 3 of Vibhuti Spanda, Sutra 3.4 and 3.5. Yatha hi arto sputo drishta savadhane pichetasi bhuyah sputataro bhati swabaloddyoga bhavitaha तथा यत्परमार्थेन येन यत्र यथा स्थितं तत्तथा बलमाक्रम्य न चिरात् सम्प्रवर्तते.
Bhagavan Paramashiva, for the power of materialization, the scriptural reference is taken from Spandakarika, section 3, Vibhuti Spanda, Sutra 3.4, 3.5. Bhagavan Paramashiva has beautifully given us the sutra to make us understand the deeper science. He says, indeed, just as the object, which is in spite of the attentiveness of the mind, is perceived and seen indistinctly at first, then appears and manifests more distinctly and clearly when observed with the power of third eye, strength of the vision power. The whole science is given to us to make us understand the deeper truth of how we exist, where we are established. Beautifully, there is a story in the Srimad Bhagavatam where Sukacharya, he is narrating how the Jatabharata, he was living in such a space of oneness that he established himself as consciousness. In spite of what is happening, he established himself as consciousness, as enlightened. And the tribal people saw him because he was very well built, and they thought, okay, we can give a bali, a sacrifice for Kali today of this person. And they took Jatabharata and he went also, and they gave him a good bath. He happily had a bath. And they took him to a place where they're going to slaughter him, they're going to cut him. And there's a huge person with a huge knife standing there and in front of Kali, and he has to lie down there. But before that, he was supposed to eat. So they served him food, but they were shocked. He ate 3 times a normal person, because only when in celebration you usually eat, but he's going on eating and he has no fear. And then they asked him to go and lie down. And he went and lied down. He had no fear, no resistance, nothing. Absolutely, he was just obeying to what the tribal group was saying. Kali was so shocked to see the restful awareness, the peace that he demonstrated. And he knew that he was in oneness with Paramashiva. Simply Kali came and she danced on everybody and literally removed everybody from that place. And he she asked Jadabharata. Jadabharata got up and started walking and did not say anything to Kali. So Kali asked, "What is this? I saved you from all these people. You're not saying anything." And Jadabharata says, "What did you save from? What is there first to save? We are consciousness. Where is the body that is to be saved?" And he was in such a bliss, that consciousness, Kali was so happy, he blessed and gave a boon. The whole science, how the whole happening, they live in such a oneness. Adi Shankaracharya also had demonstrated the same thing. He was in such a bliss when Bhairava tried to kill him. Padmapada took the ferocious pace of the whole space and Narsimha and killed all the Bhairavas that time to safeguard Adi Shankara. And he himself, Adi Shankara, has sang a poem on this. These great Mahatmas do not get disturbed. They know very well something will happen and they will be, if they have to get saved, they'll be saved. If they are to leave the body, the karma is over, they have to go. But the manifestation is happening from the different possibilities into us. Then only it really fulfilling. Like Bhagavan said, they were all living as Avadani of multiple orders. The more and more realized, more and more intelligent you are, the higher and higher dimensions of vertical time zone you are traveling. You understand only length, breadth, depth. You are caught up only in the materialist work. And that is your decision. Bhagavan clearly says, since we have never seen an Avadani before, we get scattered away into the fear and greed. But if our mind is dissolved in Paramashiva, established in Paramashiva, we will raise to the higher intelligence to understand the higher possibilities, how these things is not to be scared of, but these things can be fixed in a just as a solution. All that we need is surrender our identity to Paramashiva. He will manifest anything as our possibility. All that needs is only a deep surrender, and simply you can experience the greatest reality. Here, Bhagavan beautifully explains about the Sahaja Samadhi.
Even gods need to do tapas to achieve this state. Even gods who achieved their states by the various practices need to do unique special tapas to achieve this state. Yam laptva chaparam labam manyatenadikam tataha yasmin stito na dukkena gurunapi vichalyate. Having obtained which state one does not esteem any other acquisition as something more, and being established in which state one is not shaken by even the most grievous suffering, is Sahaja Samadhi. We call it Sahaja Sthiti, the state where, the space where thoughts are not required for the smooth functioning of your body and even mind. Mind can function without thoughts. Please understand, even though usually the mind is bunch of thoughts, it can function without thoughts. You may ask, how can mind, which is bunch of thoughts, can function without thoughts? Just by the presence of the superconsciousness, without any agitation or the after effects and side effects which will be usually created by thoughts, mind can function, mind can flow. Unless the mind functions, you won't even be able to stand, sit, walk. It functions without any thoughts. No thought, no movement. That is why I always tell people, I am not existing as you think of me. Same way, after I leave the body, I am not going to be absent as you think of the absence. Understand? An enlightened master, a person who is established in Sahaja Samadhi, he will not be present as you understand presence. He will not be absent as you understand absence. Krishna says very beautifully, whoever understands the way I function will be liberated. Understand? He says, if you understand how I am functioning, you will be liberated. How funny it is. You may think, how will I be liberated if I know how Krishna is functioning? You will understand your mind is also functioning in the same way, and just your ignorance creates complication. You will just unclutch that very moment. Wow, this is what? Then why was I connecting all the thoughts unnecessarily and creating constant suffering for me? I wasted my time creating constant suffering for myself. When you create constant suffering for you, even the good thing you want to do to others will become suffering for them, and you will cry, oh, even if I do good things, people take it bad. They are not taking it bad. You are doing it as bad. Even though you plan good. But when you stop torturing yourself, when you stop giving suffering to you, even if you do something what you think or you may feel as bad, will end up as good. When an enlightened master uses his trishul, even then he only heals. When an ordinary man, even if he gives gift, he only destroys others.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explained how we can experience the superconscious mutation, the Sahaja Samadhi, when we establish ourselves without thinking. When you are in the beautiful space of oneness, that is, your heart opens up, the brain coherence happens, then the thinking mind is not required. But you open the bliss chemicals in your brain, which becomes the reality. That is what here Baba Satya Sai Baba is demonstrating, the materialization just from the pure space he is. There is nothing that he is doing. It is happening to him. Whether he is materializing gold or he materializing vibhuti and kumkum, you can see how he is just from thin air, he is in the depth and he creates these materialistic objects and just offers is only because of the pure space he is. Bhagavan is explaining and making all of us create that beautiful space of oneness to materialize the vibhuti, kumkum, all these again and again to make us understand the higher dimensions are available. We don't have to continuously suffer in life. We have to raise by establishing ourselves in the higher manifestation, who we are, continually living in our length, breadth, depth as a materialistic world. We are only chasing ourselves into confusion and chaos. But beyond that, there exists a space of 14 dimensions which we can make it reality when we are ready to let go our identity a little bit, the knowledge, the skill, whatever we know, and bring into that oneness space what we are, establish a listening space for higher dimensions to happen. And that tapas is power manifestation. Every day doing the tapas, we understand the greater science. Like when you started walking, you started only when you were 1 year, but you did not jump. You took the time of 5 years to understand this deeper truth. Same way, you will understand the higher cognitions of how you exist when you start manifesting more and more powers every single day as a tapas, how Bhagavan has given us this science to the world. Here in Shakshi Pramana, manifesting gold flakes on her own palm. You can see her palm glittering as gold. It's not some wet. You can see how dry her hand is, but so bright, even in camera, it is able to see the gold flakes that are materialized in her hand. And all that needs is only our inner space to establish. It doesn't matter what you did yesterday, today, even 1 hour before. Now, are you ready to give up your thoughts only to listen to the space of Mahavakya that you are chanting? Again and again, when you are chanting, you raise yourself to the higher frequency, manifesting the powers. You can see one of the devotees in Pratyaksha Pramana, the scientific study. She went to a lab where Bhagavan materialized in her throat the object. So they say very clearly, the foreign body in her oral cavity, without any delay or reprocession, the recording of the spiral CT scan after materialization reveals the presence of the materialistic object. This is in Avatar Shastra, chapter 10 and page number 214. Clearly, it describes how the devotee had the materialization happen in her throat somewhere, from just somewhere, and manifested as reality. This has been scientifically studied. And so many gemstones, deities, all have been materialized just like that. Can you materialize from thin air? Everybody can, because you are the chosen one. Bhagavan says, do Anga Pradakshina of yourself. Go around yourself and thank yourself that you are here today listening to this great truth, and you are being the chosen one because Paramashiva wants to manifest through you all the abundance and auspiciousness. Be very clear. Sit as Brahmanya Bahuputratam. You are the favorite inheritance of the cosmos to manifest all the powers of Paramashiva. All you need to do is dissolve in the presence of Paramashiva. The higher, the gratitude, like Bhagavan says, removes all the karmas. When you're deep thankful for what Bhagavan is creating, making you understand the higher and higher cognition, and if you're thankful for that, he'll take you deeper and deeper. The more you're thankful, the more deeper you can travel, manifesting all the best in the outer world and experiencing the greater reality in the inner world. Materialization is not just making something appear in your hand, but it shifts your cognition and your reality in the outer world to the extraordinary abundance and manifestation of the best things in your life. So all we are going to do is sit straight with your head, neck and spine in a straight line. Connect to Paramashiva deeply in oneness. Chant the Mahavakya loudly and deeply, intensely, with the secret key called listening. When listening is there, there is no thoughts. So when you dissolve yourself in gratitude and love, no mind, you're in deep love, you know there is no mind even to sleep or eat. You are in so dissolved. Same way, bring that pure love for consciousness, Paramashiva, and dissolve in him. Simply you will be sucked into the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Sahaja Samadhi, and you can experience the deeper reality. Let's all collectively chant the Mahavakya deeply, feeling the oneness with Paramashiva, manifesting the power of materialization of gold in our hand. Let's start chanting the Mahavakya.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita